All right, so we've been working with a lot of buyers who are moving either into or out of the Northwest. Seems like in our country right now, there's a lot of big movements across country. So a common question we're getting is, how do I sell my house in the Northwest and move to another state? So Nathan, why don't you take us through this, as you've been dealing with this recently here?
Absolutely. There's people that are going, I want a job out of this state that has this mandate, and I want to go there. I want to go there for this, that reason. There's people that are moving for more property, less property. There's people that all the reasons are varied. But here's the point. We're working with a client right now that wants to move from Washington to Minnesota. They have 20 acres in this state, and in the next state, they want 10 to 20 acres. So one of their concerns was, hey, if we're going to go buy that next property, we need this one to be sold. And we want to make sure that it's actually going to close so that we don't accidentally end up with two mortgage payments or have to put in an offer in Minnesota that's contingent on the sale of this home. We've got a guaranteed offer on this house. We've got a cash offer from Living Well Properties. We know it's going to close. And so we can now safely and confidently go over to Minnesota and shop for the new farm that we're interested in. Another family was looking to move again out of the Pacific Northwest into Texas. He was looking for a job change that he was really excited about. Mm-hmm. And in his situation, it was similar. He had a lot of work that needed to be done to the house. But luckily for him in the Pacific Northwest, he had built out quite a bit of equity as he had inherited that property. And so he was able to take all of the cash from the sale of his house, buy a property in Texas for about 2/3 of the cost of what it is up here in the PNW, and even have some cash left over for, of course, for moving expenses. And he didn't have to have a mortgage down there in Texas. So that was pretty awesome. He's able to take all the cash from his purchase here and buy a mortgage-free house down in Texas. So my advice for anybody who's doing this is, if you are at all are worried about the situation, like accidentally ending up with two mortgages or two properties that you have to take care of, maybe you want to look at something like Living Well Properties, where you can get a cash offer up front. You can lock down that offer and make sure that you're confident in it. And then you can go confidently look for the new property out of state. When you are going to look for that property out of state, I want to give you a couple of tips. One, I want to mention realtor.com. They have a listing of agents and they rank them by the number of transactions that have recently done. So I want to encourage you, when you're going to look for if you are going to use an agent in the new state you're moving into, don't be ashamed to interview several of them. Look for a killer. Look for somebody who's going to really look out for your interest. Look for somebody perhaps that has a small team so they can spread the burden of finding you a property across several people. And make sure you're letting them know what you really want. Now, you may have to give some concessions on how big your deck is or the pool or this, that, or the other. But if you give them the dream list and then you kind of let them know with the priority of these are the most important things, that'll allow them to filter down and just show you properties that are the best matches for you. But again, make sure you find somebody that is highly active, not just one of these part-time real estate agents that does it kind of as a side hustle on the side. Yep. Look for somebody that's going to really represent you well in the new state.
Absolutely. And I can just, again, speak from experience moving from one state in the Northwest to another, having that house sold before we purchased a new one allowed us to not have any contingencies, which has been so nice. So it's not, not everybody's situation is the exact same, but being in a spot where you have confidence, you're not having to go, well, I hope their financing doesn't fall through. You go, nope, this is closing on this date, and we know that we're going to be able to purchase this. Going to give you the peace of mind to make that big jump, that kind of cross-country move when you already have enough on your plate. So definitely a good way to go when you're making a big move like that. Excellent. Well, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.
See you on the next one.